Good evening and namaste everyone. Welcome to our today's session of Let's Connect 9 Women, 9 Success Stories. We are here today with Mrs. Ruchi Goyal, who I will introduce very shortly. First, I'd like to welcome our audience, Ruchi, to today's session. As you know, we are doing these 9 sessions in what we call Navratri, remembering Goddess Durga through our 9 sessions and remembering what Goddess Durga signifies for women and what are the strengths that women have. So we've Ruchi interviewed 8 different women so far who've
Nice.
showcased their different skills, their talents, their professional capabilities. And today we are going to talk about motherhood. We want to conclude our session with motherhood because that is also one form of Goddess Durga which everyone needs to value, which has so much resonance in our society. So, Ruchi Goyal is an international speaker. She is a graduate in hotel management. But last couple of years, her trajectory has been very different. As an international speaker, she's spoken about training women, mothers particularly, who have children with some disabilities or special needs. She's also trained, guided, and counseled mothers who have children who face sexual abuse. She's developed a very good repute for herself, and all of this voluntary work that you do, Ruchi, and so actively you're doing all of this work across different countries. She's doing it. So we're very happy, and we are waiting to hear from you today. So thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Ruchi, can you introduce yourself and tell us more about your journey, how it began?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, first of all, for having me. It's absolute pleasure, and I'm so blessed that I'm able to talk about a subject which is so close to my heart. As Ruby said, that I am a hotel management graduate, but because of my child who has deafness, she's 16 now, but because of her, I got into speech therapy, and I had probably the reason why I am where I am today. And so I'm talking about speech therapy constantly, helping parents with speech delay and other related issues.
Yeah.
So that's become my journey now.
Ruchi, before we go on to talk about also what inspires you, would you also please mention about how your own daughter has evolved and how she's also, as you were going to say, I know, an inspiration for you. So can you talk about that as well?
Well, having a child with deafness was definitely very shocking and very difficult. But, the whole idea was to make her speak, and finding a right mentor really, helped me. And so Alika Hudlikar, who's my mentor, and Prisha have become those milestones in my life and who have changed the entire
Where
thing.
does your mentor live? Is she in India or she's here?
Yes, she's Pune based. She's 86, doesn't practice anymore, but I'm trying to bring out her work through, Prisha and, our journey. And so Prisha now, she is 16. She's studying at Frankfurt International School, and she wants to do these, big talks because she's accompanied me everywhere. So she would perform while I would, because she's my certificate. I'm not a certified speech therapist, but she is one of my muse, I can say.
Yeah.
So she's speaking, she's singing, she's playing music, she's dancing, and she wants to become a speaker one day, and she has the same aspiration that she wants to help parents of children with speech delay and disabilities with her own strength that she has gathered.
Yeah. No, you're very right, Ruchi, when you say that she is your certificate, because we've seen her perform online and in competitions and in the school, and she's such an active child. So, and I know your journey would have been very difficult. Ruchi, can you tell us what are the challenges of parents, especially mothers, when they have children with special needs, or when when their children have gone through some kind of trauma or through sexual abuse? What do you think are the challenges that parents face?
First of all, I've realized that, like, through my journey, I have realized that parents are, first of all, we are so busy with our day-to-day activities. We always think that we'll have a perfect child. Perfect child means he'll be most intelligent, we'll do this for them, and we'll, plug the stars and everything, and he will perform and do the best. But then suddenly when we realize that our child has a disability, that's like a first shock. Oh my God, what do I do? And then I feel that through my journey, I realized you suddenly become, disassociated with your child, and you don't know that this package, how do I deliver? And that, I think, is the biggest challenge, because for the mother to accept she's in denial, she's in depression, and there is always advice from everywhere. Don't worry, God will take care. God doesn't take care. You, as a mother, have to do that. I mean, with normal children, we have problems.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, child with special abilities have to be taken care of, and then you're dependent on somebody who will help
Yeah.
your child.
Yeah.
Whether you'll find it or not is
Yeah.
another story. Plus the financial
Yeah.
burden that comes with it,
Absolutely.
family acceptance.
Yeah.
It's still a taboo. So people,
Yeah.
and you don't want to be seen with a disabled child.
Yeah.
There are communities like that. So I think for me to make sure that the mother understands
Yeah.
this is one of the most
Yeah.
challenging parts.
Yeah, and you're right, Ruchi. I think at times the challenges are from within the family itself and not so much from outside. And convincing everybody, taking everybody on board. And when you have, especially in India where we have joint families, so there are people of different generations living together. So for a mother to be empowered and to know what is the right course of action for her child and be strong enough to take that action, I
Yes.
think that is where your role comes in.
Yes.
So can we talk about what is the role of a mother and how you are training and empowering mothers, and what is your role in this whole process?
Well, when Prisha started to respond with speech therapy of Alka ma'am, because I was looking online for help, and back those days we didn't have anything online, so I started to think that I need to bring this thing forward for other parents who are in a same desperate situation. And so I started to write a blog. And when I started to write a blog, then I started to reach out to more people, talk to mothers, and then, talking about this journey, telling them that this is possible. And writing online has been very empowering, because once you are able to write all your emotions down, tell these parents that this is what the problem is, where we are going, how we should be going about it. And slowly my circle grew. And now parents online, I write on different forums, especially through Facebook. I write to parents in different special needs, areas. I write, this is what I do. I have a blog, I have Facebook pages, and then people write to me, and then talking to them, counseling. I schedule a call once I have the videos of the parents. I specifically want the videos. Once they send the videos, I analyze those videos with whatever knowledge that I have. And then once I know it, then I am able to explain to the parents, mother especially. And mother, why mother? Because she is 24/7 with the child. And she knows, and the first 5 years are very crucial. They are the golden period of learning, and the child is a blank canvas. And the mother is the first one who starts to paint on that canvas. So I honestly believe that once you empower the mother, you explain to her, unlearn the whole thing. When you have a child with special needs, you have to unlearn whatever you know of parenting. Other family members may not be as understanding, but the mother has to be very, very strong in this. Unlearn everything you know about parenting and start to relearn, rewire, reconnect with your child, and then start seeing a change. And once the mother is empowered, I've seen that miracles happen.
Yeah. So you do, Ruchi, when you're doing live sessions with mothers, and how much time does it normally take? I mean, do you spend months talking to mothers, or do you, really go on to see your child evolve over years also? How is the process?
Depends. It depends. Like I have been mentoring mothers since 15 years now. So those days, the way was very different. We didn't have so much of, so I would Skype to the mothers, and I would give them free of cost all the time, because I know what it means. Sometimes they don't come forward because of the money factor. So I did not, first of all, want to bring money in at all. So I do all this, my work is all free for everybody around the world. And so what I do is now of course, thanks to WhatsApp and Facebook pages, I call them, I look at the videos, I talk to them, and it's depends. Like some have they just need once in a while, but I have noticed the first 2-3 months are the most crucial ones, where I'm actually very, very firm, because the whole idea is there has to be a certain mind frame for learning, and the child has to have a discipline. So mother has to be disciplined herself, and once you are more calm. So if the child is having behavior issues, because I had during this lockdown, I have about 35 mothers, and most of them, 90% of them have had behavior issues with the children. So kind of first, calm down the child, and that does require a lot of the mother. And then after that, once they know, then they're on. But my morning starts like 5:36. As soon as I turn my phone on,
Yeah.
I have these videos, messages.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like 4 to 5 hours in a day. It's very intensive. So some sessions will last for an hour, hour and a half. There's one I've done for 2 hours. And I just break it down into pieces where it in normal language of our day-to-day language. I do not use very professional language, otherwise the mothers won't understand.
Yeah.
So talking to the mothers, telling them, in day-to-day activity. Again, your home and my home is very different. So it has to be the language of your house. So once I explain the method to you, then you have to work around it. But yes, you have to be accountable to me. So updates on, I always ask, okay, why the video hasn't come? So sometimes the mothers are so scared of me. But then I feel that when I see success, I have these feedbacks from the mothers. It's very, very gratifying. And of course, everything I'm able to do, I thank Alka ma'am. And whenever these mothers say, thank you, ma'am, I always say, no, you have to thank our, the
Your
main
mentor.
source of energy because of who I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm just absolutely grateful that Alka ma'am's work, I'm able to even do a little more.
Yeah. Ruchi, I think, again, as you were saying, that when a child has any physical disability, or, I mean, let alone a bad incident in his or her life, so there are behavioral issues. And I think you're very right when you're saying that first it is important to discipline the child. So, and only a mother can do that. So, while one might want to look at a child more sympathetically or feel that the child may need more love, but also to bring in a strictness, bring in a discipline. So I think that is a very good approach that you're taking.
I think so, because the mother, normally they are very scared. They're very scared. I don't want to hurt the child's feeling, but we don't realize that the outside world is not easy to get along. So once the mother realizes that we are able to discipline the child, and then of course through our language, through our speech, because my specialty is speech therapy, and I think everything can be changed if you use the right kind of language. So I'm like always telling them exactly how to talk to the child, constantly breaking it down, and once the mother is empowered, she understands, she talks to the child, we just see the change. And the mother is herself, the whole language of the family changes. The whole family also then starts, oh wow, your child is talking. And so that is very important, that the mother understands, and she has to be very strong.
Yeah, and must be very gratifying for you, as you are saying. I mean, for somebody to not even be charging and doing this on voluntary basis.
I sleep very well. I sleep very well. In fact, some days I'm like very last 1 hour of the night, I normally try to calm my brain. But then there are these desperate mothers who will message, ma'am, this has happened. Can you just help? So I don't even think about it. Immediately, I'll just call up. For me, it is about the child and the mother, and they have come out to me for help. So there are times the mothers are crying. I will calm them down. I'll just spend that hours and time, because I know what it is like to be in that state. So I do not, as much as I want to, like I cannot see a mother going to bed crying, and normally try and talk to them and just make sure that they are happy.
It must be very emotionally taxing also for you. I mean, because to take on somebody else's pain and try to give them strength, it's not an easy job to do.
I think over the years, initially it used to be, but now I think I see it as a strength, because when I see a mother happy at the end of the session, she's like very happy, and then I see that she's motivated. Next day she sends me, ma'am, you know what, I slept well, and today I'm like again back to it. And then I hear those children also interacting with the mother, and then this whole language that we have to certainly use. I think it makes my day. So I'm very happy, and I'm very grateful that my family is very supportive. My children, my husband. So they're very supportive, so I can do this. So be it Australia, US, I've got people from around the world. So I
Indonesia, you were saying you give lectures there as well.
Yes, in Indonesia, I think I got my biggest platform. I work with the Ministry of Education at the very big universities as well, where I was a panel speaker, as well as with the ministry, we did very, very big conversation. In fact, I still get invites to come to Indonesia, but I'm planning to do it once Prisha is settled in the university. I plan to go to Indonesia and start associating. In fact, I'm looking at even doing on Zoom, but let's see how it goes. I'm always for this, like this purpose. I have found a purpose, and I'm grateful that there are a lot of people who have supported, and one of the opportunities is from here. So I'm very, very happy that I'm able to talk about a subject like disabilities, which is a very big taboo. and I'm able to talk about it and spread this. So I'm hoping that more parents basically can be not afraid anymore. They just, if I have a problem, don't be in denial. Just seek help, because there are people who will help
Yeah.
you. There are ways we can turn this story and make it into a success
Yeah.
story. The
Yeah.
struggle is there,
Yeah.
but it's better than not working with
Yeah.
your child. The struggle for the child is much later, is very, very tough. So it's
Obviously.
better to just work it out in the early years, because foundation of first 5 years is so important.
Yeah.
You make a success story
Yeah.
from there, and the
Yeah.
foundation is strong. You will see the child automatically. Prisha is so self-motivated. I don't have to work as much on her, because she is doing things by herself.
Yeah.
I'm helping other parents.
Yeah.
I just have to, a bit I have to do
Yeah.
here and there, but otherwise
Yeah.
not.
Yes. So, Ruchi, what is the advice that you will give to young mothers, particularly because our audience who's going to be watching our series, they'll be spread in Germany and in India and maybe elsewhere as well. So, young Indian mothers in also European context, in in Indian context, they will have their own set of challenges and whole set of family values or traditions that they have to follow. So, in those circumstances, what advice will you give to young mothers who may have children facing disabilities, or whose children may have had some bad sexual harassment instances? So, what advice will you give them?
I think the mother in the first 5 years, because they are so crucial, I feel that the role of the mother is the biggest, because 24/7 she's connected. She's connected even before the birth, right? You're talking to the baby. Now, when you bring this baby in, I feel that you must, I know there are stereotypes to be taken care of, there are needs and requirements, but most of the issues that today that I'm seeing that children are being labeled as ADHD or autistic, because they are not speaking, because the mother is too busy. So please make sure that if you are having a baby, then make sure that the child gets a very conducive atmosphere of language, because language can totally change the child's world. If we are looking at somebody's child talking so much, remember that there is a family behind which is talking a lot, and I think the children really flourish in an atmosphere where there is language, there is interaction. Make sure you go out with them, let them eat themselves, let them mess up, but let them clean up after that. Make sure, because here we are doing everything is perfect, everything is clean, but whatever you are doing, just make sure that you are talking to them. Be firm. Discipline is very important, because you will realize in the long term you will be the one who's benefiting. The child will have a right frame of mind. So please make sure that you're talking to your children quite a lot. Have an atmosphere of growth, happiness, only because it's so important for the child. If you don't do it, remember, there is no one in the world who can do it. I always tell this to the mothers, that if you give up on your child, remember, there is no one else who will do it for you.
Yes, yes.
So, like I always say, clean your own shit.
Yeah, but thank you, Ruchi. I mean, this is very useful for us, and we are so happy we did this concluding session with you. As you know, so every day of the Navratri has a color attached to it, and so today, yellow was the color we were looking at, which is also signifying brightness and cheer, which is what you bring to these mothers and their children's lives. So, what you're doing is really amazing. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so very much. I think a thing like disabilities has come forward through this forum. I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you for bringing, I think this will bring so much happiness to all of us. I am very, very appreciative. And yellow being my favorite color in the end of the session. Thank you again so very much.
Yes, no, thank you, Ruchi.
Thank you.